Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the prediction show for UFC Fight Night 183, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. We're going to talk two free plays, going to talk main event, and actually this main event play, I may actually flip into a client play. So I'm going to be talking basically a play that I will be giving to my clients. Already have a package up on Wagertalk. I may add this one to that package. So definitely that's how I feel about this play, that I do feel very good about the main event and the side that I'm going to be taking. Also going to be talking about a prop bet as well. A little sprinkle there and definitely an angle that I do like. So we're going to talk about that also. Coming off a 1-1-1 night, hit on a 4% play, which is our top play. Rafael Fiziev, getting that knockout over Moicano gets us a cash in there. Only a very small 1% increase to our bankrolls, but again, better than losing, and we got to keep moving forward. So I want to finish this year off strong. Have a lot of plays that I do like on this card. Now, I already have about four that I already have on that package. I may be getting up to about 6 plays, including this play that I'm going to be talking about on my client package. Just so many that I like in this card. Last card I wasn't really too big on certain ones, and this is definitely a card where I do like some betting opportunities here. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Link down in the description. And before we get into anything else, it's the end of 2020. This is the final card of 2020 for UFC. It's been a fantastic year. You know, I'm nearing 70% return on investment, 66% winner this year. It has just been a phenomenally profitable year, but also as well as just the community of people. People follow me on Twitter at Kyle Anthony UFC have been fantastic. Also people that are definitely commenting and giving me support also on YouTube. I do appreciate all of that. It's just been, again, a great year meeting new people. Always love the banter about, UFC conversations, whether you're betting with me or you're betting against me. I always enjoy those angles and all of that stuff. And again, meeting some great people and going to take this awesome year that we've had and shift it right into 2021. And also we're gonna, keep moving forward. Like we said, it's going to be nice to have the 2 weeks off, but we got to move forward when we start talking about cards in January. So really excited about that. It'll be nice to have a little bit of time off, kind of chill for a little bit, but also we want to make sure we finish strong and cash in here. So again, appreciate everybody liking, subscribing, supporting my channel, supporting the content, clients that I've had that I've made money for this year. Thanks for everything. I always appreciate everybody who has been just, again, supportive is always a key part. It's us against the bookies, not us against each other. It's us against the bookies. So let's finish strong and let's go get some more of that bookie money this week. So with that being said, I am going to talk about the main event of the evening between Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. We're going to get into it right now. You've got a current line. You've got Neal is around a -122. Money kind of just ticked that up a little bit. You've got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is about +100 now currently. And like we always do, we're going to go down 3 fights of each fighter, see what we see, see what we like, if one fighter can expose the other, and if it makes sense to place a wager. So we're going to first talk about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. 3 fights ago, he fought Darren Till. Now this is a very interesting fight because it was kind of lackluster-ish, kind of situation, and you got, the fight happening on Darren Till's home soil. But it was a fight where there were some high spots and some low spots and some stalemate spots, and Till ended kind of strong in some spots there, but very close. I mean, limited striking from both of them. There were, again, it's very hard to break this one down. This is almost like trying to break down, the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, versus Tyron Woodley, where there's not much action and you're kind of begging for something. So this is kind of the fight I would kind of put into that category. I did bet Darren Till in this fight, did cash, but I actually thought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won the fight. I thought he actually snuck it out there, but home call, I think that's kind of what happened. Now, again, going to get past this one. Didn't really think there was too much going into that, but you did see that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson did lose that. Darren Till went out there and got the decision victory. 2 fights ago, you've got Wonderboy fought Anthony Pettis. This was an interesting fight here, where the fact that you've got Pettis, definitely going to be the smaller guy coming into this division, and you know what? I thought that early on, and this is something that Wonderboy does, and I think it helps in 5-round fights compared to 3-round fights. certain situations where, he kind of, not like he takes off the first round, but he likes to kind of get tells, kind of calculate certain movements, calculate what's going to go on, and then move from there, and then kind of move forward and say, all right, this is his movement. Are the feints working? What's happening? Where is his movement happening? Where is he firing for his offense from? And this is the kind of fight here. In that first round with Pettis, he did that. He kind of allowed Pettis to dictate a little bit. Pettis was starting to work the leg kicks. You've got Stephen Waterboy Thompson as that long karate stance. Allowed him to kind of do that, which I thought was an interesting technique right away for Pettis, looking to chop those legs down, trying to slow the movement down of Wonderboy. We know Wonderboy likes to move around, bounce around, and that was a spot where he definitely was able to kind of isolate and start to look for those leg kicks. And then Wonderboy starts to kind of later into that first round, starting to pick up a little bit of the pace, utilizing some of his boxing, mixing it up a little bit, and the jab is definitely his thing. I mean, you've got the fact that the way that Wonderboy he's so long and his stance is so long that he's able to kind of fire those kicks. He always has his hands down, kind of disguising some of his shots, but he's able to have such quick hands. We can go up there, fire the jab, fire 1-2, look for the leg kick, mix it up nicely. But that first round, Pettis had some success. Pettis was having success. It was a close round, but Pettis was having success. And again, the timidness of Wonderboy has always been an issue over the last few fights, where can he pull the trigger, and when he looks good against somebody like Masvidal, or if he's actually engaged, fighting, and he's got somebody that's gonna kind of not just be the kind of guy that's, waiting for Wonderboy to attack, but he likes a guy that's actually gonna be able, that he can counter, that he can kind of pick up a towel, look for a counterattack. Pettis did good in that first round. I thought he looked really well. Going to that second round, it started to look like Wonderboy was actually picking up some nice shots. He started landing some nice shots. He started damaging Pettis a little bit. And I think Pettis started slowing down, and that was when you start to see what Wonderboy can do. When he starts pushing out that offense, he has probably the best technical karate skills up there, on the planet at this point in his career. And pretty much for a very long time, he's been that elite striker. But an odd kind of kick to Pettis, bouncing off the cage, firing a shot, which is a very awkward, thing. And that's the first time that Wonderboy, to at least that I can remember, or at least looking back, that was knocked out. It was a knockout loss. And just the way that it all happened, it was almost like, okay, you're getting that steamroll coming. Here comes Wonderboy. And then he bounces off the cage, throws a shot, absolutely just blasted him. End of the fight. Pettis gets the victory. Again, that's a situation where, is it the timidness of Wonderboy that is kind of the issue for him, where he just doesn't really pour out that offense anymore? Again, he's heading up to 37 years old now. Is that part of it, where he doesn't have that anymore? So he ends up going out there and losing by knockout. And then most recently, which I think is probably one of the best showings that he's had in years, was against Vicente Luque. And this was a fight here where you've got Luque, a guy who was a brawler, likes to brawl, likes to go out there, push forward. He wants to scrap, throwing leg kicks. He is completely fine with you punching him in the face as long as he can land 1 or 2 shots back. Does not care. His durability is just off the charts. His toughness is off the charts. And this is a fight here where, again, the same situation. Was Wonderboy going to kind of stay on the outside, allow the movement to kind of happen, and then start to pour out his offense? And this is, again, I think it was the best showing that Wonderboy has shown in a long time. And that first round there, Luque does what he does. He goes out there, he wants to bully, he wants to push forward, he starts throwing leg kicks. Again, Wonderboy has that long stance, throwing those leg kicks. But the thing about Wonderboy that is a lot different than a lot of fighters is he is completely fine fighting orthodox or southpaw. He does not care. He can still fire a good offense. He can smoothly move back and forth, which of course obviously makes it harder for the opponent to pick up where his offense is coming from. But right away, I thought Luque looked great. Luque's going out there, and it looked like this is the kind of fight that Luque wanted. You had Wonderboy backing up, shelling up a little bit up against the fence. Luque pushing forward a little bit, again, kind of moving around. But it was basically, I would say, halfway to maybe more towards the end of that first round is where the vet move of Wonderboy started to pick up and started to say, I can't back up. I can't allow him to just push his offense out, run away, push his offense out, run away. You can't do that. That's something where you just can't do. And then the situation here is basically, he changed the entire strategy. And he allowed himself to say, okay, well, I'm going to actually meet the bully, and that's how you push the pressure back. If you've got a fighter that's a pressure fighter, the best way to counter that is stick the jab out and hold your ground and not allow him to walk you down. And, Bisping talks about this a lot, is that it's almost a dance. Like, if you walk forward, the guy goes backwards. If you kind of push forward a little bit, the other guy goes back. It's just the way it is, and you kind of got to stop that pattern and push out some offense. And that's what he did here. I thought he looked fantastic when he started doing that, and that was when everything changed. I mean, it looked like Luque was really going to start bullying him. He started landing beautiful shots, hard shots, jabbing, mixing it up, and that was a little bit where the tide kind of started turning a little bit more towards Wonderboy. Going into that second round is really where things started changing. He really dictated the pace of this fight. Again, Luque wanted to come out guns blazing into that second round, and again, Wonderboy just, really dug deep, which is something I think he should be doing every fight, and he hasn't done even title fights. He just is not the guy that wants to fire first, and he did that heavy into that second round, pushed the pace, made the change, going forward, mixing it with leg kicks, body kicks, a very big boxing push forward from Wonderboy. He was really able to land a nice shot, and again, the jab was such a leader in this situation where he's able to stay on the outside, work his jab, keep his footwork. And that is also something that I think is very hard for Luque. Luque wants to just stand and bang toe-to-toe. You've got someone like Wonderboy going on the outside. Thompson was able to land a jab, push forward, land a good shot, move outside of the cage again, consistently move forward, come back outside. It was just really a clinic, that second and third round. Into that third round, it was just a complete hardcore shot from Wonderboy. He was able to knock him down a couple times, able to, with a nice body kick, drop Luque. Luque got back up, he dropped him again. I mean, really into that third round, Luque looked like, one, he was battered, and two, he really just didn't have, it looked like he didn't have much left, and it was almost like he just figured, I can't figure this out. I can't figure out how to manipulate some of the movement, cut off the cage on Wonderboy, and the way he was working, it just looked, it was a fantastic showing from Stephen Thompson. The way that he fought, the way that he changed his strategy. He didn't just sit there and say, all right, I'm going to allow him to bully me around. He met the force, ended up looking great, gets the unanimous decision victory, looked fantastic, a big win for him in a spot after coming off 2 losses, and this was a spot here against a very tough and very game opponent in Vicente Luque. So he goes up there and he gets that victory. And then on the other side, you've got Geoff Neal. Now, Geoff Neal, again, minus 122 on his side. 3 fights ago, he fought Belal Muhammad, and this was a showing here where you've got Belal, who is a very durable fighter, and I think he's a little bit more low-key. Like, it's almost like when he fights, you don't realize how good he is. He's a tough guy, really looks to grapple, gets in tight, will take a shot, look to level change. And in this spot here, the first round was somewhat close. I think they were both kind of landing some good shots. You had definitely had Muhammad, who was pushing forward, getting some takedowns, and he ended up landing some takedowns on Neal. He ended up getting Geoff Neal down. But Neal's able to get out of it and scramble and move around. And even when they stood toe-to-toe, big shots were being landed. Geoff Neal, landing that straight left, that's his big weapon, that he's able to land it straight, land a big shot, move around. He likes to bully also. He likes to kind of move forward and look to land a big shot. Muhammad was trying to chip away. He was trying to land the shots. And going into that second and third round, that's really where Geoff Neal took over. And I would say many of these shots that Muhammad was taking would black out anybody, would just completely knock them out, the way he was taking these shots. And again, Belal doesn't really have the greatest defense. He's very, very hittable, and then he's looking to always level change, and then he started getting sloppy with the level changing. But Geoff Neal was able to defend those, land some nice shots, got a unanimous decision victory there in that spot, and he goes out there and gets the victory. 2 fights ago, Geoff Neal fought Nico Price. This was one where now you've got another guy here who's a brawler. Everyone knows Nico Price is the kind of guy that is completely willing to stand and trade, brawl. He's wild. Although he does have technical skills, he is a wild man when it comes to just how he likes to fight. He wants it to get crazy. He wants to do spinning moves and have both guys firing toe-to-toe in exchanges. He just does not care. That's the kind of fight that Nico Price wants. And earlier they were landing both nice shots. Looked good. They were both kind of bouncing around, looking like almost who's going to really look to take the big shot first. Neal looked to get a takedown, which was interesting that he looked for that takedown. But again, you kind of had scrambling ability of Nico Price, was able to stand, get back up to his feet. But going into that second round, there was a crazy exchange where, again, they both kind of, and even you heard Geoff Neal's corner say, don't get into a brawl with this guy. Work your shots. The big shot will come. Do not brawl with this guy. There's no need to. That's what Niko Price is going to want. He's going to want chaos. He's going to want to create the chaos, takes you out of your game, takes you out of your rhythm, and that's where he starts looking for the big shots. And kind of right into the beginning of that second round is exactly what happened. A big exchange. Niko Price causing chaos. Pushing forward. Both of them landing. And then there was a takedown. It was almost like a sloppy one where it was almost like Niko was trying to get the takedown, but then Geoff Neal kind of was able to kind of reverse it. And in that spot, it almost looked like Neal was going to even maybe get up or kind of look to change positioning, but he starts landing heavy ground and pound, bombing shots. Looked like even his corner was kind of saying for him to get up or change the positioning, maybe look for a full mount or side mount, or the way that he was in the guard. It sounded like his coaches didn't like that, but Geoff Neal did not listen. He was landing bombs on Niko Price's head. Ended up getting the knockout in that second round. A good showing for him there. It was chaotic in that spot, but a good showing for him there. Geoff Neal did what he had to do, goes out there and gets the finish in that second round. And then most recently, he fought Mike Perry. Now, obviously, Mike Perry is very similar to Niko Price, or the way that they fight. They're kind of just chaotic, wild men that are looking to stand toe-to-toe. Fan favorites because this is the way that they fight. But technical skills, on Perry, of course, you've got to downgrade him overall in that spot. But you've got here in this situation, Mike Perry talking about how he's going to be calm, cool, relaxed. This was a big spot at the time. He had just gotten married. And, this was one where really Geoff Neal just blew through Mike Perry. There was some early exchanges that were going on, but then a big head kick from Neal ends up rocking Perry. Perry kind of falls back into the cage, and then you have Neal swarm, ground and pound, fight over, first round TKO victory for Geoff Neal. So there you have that. So with that being said, now kind of tying this all together, you've got, of course, Wonderboy Thompson, elite level kickboxing. Top of the line level kickboxing. One of the best when it comes to switching his stance. Extremely good at switching his stance, and we kind of talked about that a little bit before. Is just the way that he moves. He always has that front leg out there, but he can easily, even when he's cutting the cage off or just kind of moving out of the way, he can switch to southpaw, switch to orthodox, and fire kicks from any angle. That's always been his big thing. But also the fact that his movement just overall and his bouncing, and that's something that is a lot harder also. So now you've got a guy that not only does he switch from southpaw to orthodox very smoothly, but he's constantly moving, bouncing, keeping his hands down, giving you different looks. And that's always been a big thing, and many fighters have talked about that once they fight him, they're saying his movement is out of control. It's, you're just unable to really get a read on him. The way that his distance management is fantastic. Again, another guy that has great distance management, can move, and his great lateral movement also. So you've got so much going on with a guy like Thompson, and the way that he obviously has multiple weapons with his stand-up game, but then also on the side of his movement is just top line as well. And then you've got the other side, you've got Geoff Neal. The big thing for him is that straight left hand. There's power behind that. He's able to push forward, land a big shot. He's not scared to stand there. He's got fast hands. That's something that I think a lot of people don't talk about as much, is that he does have some quick hands, good boxing. He can mix it up. You saw him have the big head kick on Mike Perry, where he's able to rock him and kind of get the finish. Pressure is there for him. He's not scared to get into the pocket. He's not scared to stand toe-to-toe. That's something also that I think you're going to see Saturday night. You're going to see him look to try to kind of close that distance against Thompson, so Thompson cannot get his offense off. And the pace. Can he last the pace? But I think the big thing also that's kind of the knock on both of these guys is the 5-round pace. If this goes deep, can Geoff Neal last? Can he last? Can he keep that offense going third and fourth rounds? And guys that haven't been there, it's very difficult. You've been there once. Are you able to keep doing that? Is that just you have that in you, have that cardio in you? Just recently, which again you can take this as a grain of salt, but they said just for this fight, the first time ever that Geoff Neal has actually had a strength and conditioning coach. So I'm sure he's trying to correct that in some way. You can't really put a price on that when you're capping it, but that's just a tidbit that you can kind of take away there. But on the other side, the knock on, obviously, Thompson is the age thing. Now, he's 37 years old. That is obviously, you're heading towards the end of your career when you start talking about that kind of thing. You know, that's a big part of this. And you have to, of course, count that into the effect of things, too. And also the fact that he's, you know, the volume. You know, does Wonder Boy have the volume to kind of win a decision? You know, go out there, push forward, win a decision. Is that what he can do? So those are kind of the knocks on him. And does Neal have the ability to last those 5 rounds? And is Wonder Boy the same person that he's been throughout his career, where he can kind of have the cardio, push forward? Now, with that being said, here, for Geoff Neal, I think he is a rising star. I think he definitely has the ability. I think he's got power. I think he has a lot of great things. The big issue for me here is he has fought very similar guys. He has fought, guys that are brawlers, guys that are not technical, guys that are, not going to be standing in the pocket, that will be standing in the pocket, that will kind of look to cause a chaos, where you got Mike Perry and you've got, Nico Price, even Muhammad is the same kind of fighter where, he's not scared to kind of be scrappy. But, the crisper striker out of any of those, I would give it to Geoff Neal. This is the first time that you're going to see that Geoff Neal is not going to be the better striker standing toe-to-toe. You're going from somebody from Mike Perry to Thompson. That's a big step up when you're talking about just strikers overall. And that's going to be something that I think is going to be very, very difficult for Geoff Neal in this spot. I mean, there is, again, a lot of things to like about him, but I just think in this spot here, the 37-year-old part of it does worry me a little bit. I will be honest about that. This would already be a Klein play if he was maybe 33. But I like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson here. I think at plus 100, you're getting even money here. I think this is a great spot. There is nobody that Geoff Neal has seen that has the ability of Thompson. Now, if Thompson loses here, that's going to be a big down drop to him. He may be heading out. Who knows? But the way that he looked against Luque, to me, just speaks volumes. I mean, that was a fight where easily could have broke Thompson. Easily. I mean, in that first round, coming off some losses, taking some hard shots, taking those leg kicks, that was where, you would probably think Thompson would kind of, I'm getting beat up here. And he dug deep, pressed forward. It was the most volume you've seen from him. I think he kind of stumbled across something that he realized maybe he should have done a long time ago. And that is, you got to push. You have all of the weapons. Utilize those. Don't wait to counter. Be the bully. Don't wait to be bullied. And I think that was huge and massive. And even someone like Luque was not prepared for that. He was kind of thinking that, Thompson would kind of maybe, back up a little bit, look to counter, and all of a sudden he started pushing that volume out. I think that's going to be very similar to what is going to happen Saturday night against Geoff Neal, where I think early on in a 5-round fight, Thompson is going to have a ton of time to kind of calculate, figure out what he wants to do, how he wants to move, and you're going to see Geoff Neal, that first round, maybe first round and a half, are going to be scary. Neal's going to be looking for the big shot, looking to push forward, looking to land, and if Thompson can kind of start to, pull him into deeper water, calculate his movement a little bit better, I think you're going to see him can go out there and really show what a world-class striker is. So for me here, I like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, plus 100. This is a fantastic main event, a fantastic way to kind of end this. And overall, this card is I think, stacked with exciting fights, also great betting opportunities. But I'm going as a free play here, and as probably upgrading this one to my clients that I will be sending out. If I am upgrading it, they will be getting this, the write-up on this. Obviously, you guys are getting it here too. So that's how I feel about this. I definitely like this play. I like Thompson, and again, that's going to be who I'm picking. Also, the prop on this fight here that I like, and the over-under here, the total is 4.5 rounds. Now, I know that is on the, it does seem high. If you like Neal, if you like Geoff Neal, you're thinking first or second round knockout, which obviously is a possibility if he lands a big shot. He's able to do that. But for me here, I think that Thompson can be able to survive. I think Thompson is not a guy he's not a knockout guy. I mean, if you look back here now, for the first thing is, he's only been knocked out once in his career, which was against Anthony Pettis. And then you have the last time that Thompson knock somebody out was 5 years ago was Johnny Hendricks. So he has turned into really a point machine, really a guy that's going to stand outside, pitter-patter shots, and if he can push that volume out over 5 rounds, I think he gets the job done in a decision. And again, this prop is going to be a sprinkle. The play will be Thompson to win straight, but again, a sprinkle on the prop is over 4.5 rounds. You're getting plus money there. It's been pick'em to plus money there, plus 110, somewhere around there. Is mostly what I'm seeing. I think that's the spot I'm going to be taking here as the prop side of this. I think he's going to be able to outlast him. I think when it gets to deeper water and when you start to see Neal maybe slow down a little bit is where that's going to be where Tom's going to pick up the volume, pick up rounds, and start to chip away and win on the scorecards. So again, my play will be Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and my sprinkle on the parlay will be over 4.5. So there you have it for this Saturday's UFC Fight Night 183, Thompson versus Geoff Neal. Those are my 2 plays I'm going to be talking about here on the show. And again, I want to thank everybody. It's been a great year, a fun year, a profitable year overall. If you definitely want to follow me at Kyle Anthony UFC. Like, subscribe, all those great things. I'm also looking to be running a poker tournament. Trying to figure that out right now to see what's the best site. There's 888 Poker and Poker Stars. I'm trying to figure out what's good for people. People all over the place. I'm trying to figure out what's best possibly for ones that are in America, in the United States, and then see what works for Europe. I know there were some people there that are out there that were trying to figure out if they can get in on it. So definitely follow me at Kyle Anthony UFC. More on that there. This is the last show of the year. Thanks again to everybody. Appreciate the support. Let's go out there, kick some ass, make some money. And again, it's us against the bookies, quality over quantity, and definitely bankroll management and never chase. This is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show. Happy holidays. Have a great New Year's. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Wear your masks. And I'll see you in 2021. This is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show, and I'll see you next year.